welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, Tullahoma Alderman updated citizens about projects and events they are passionate about. The state has dropped visitation restrictions on long-term care facilities, and some state legislators have a plan to try to help lower drug costs. We'll have these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental healthcare needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Welcome back. At Monday's Tullahoma Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting, several aldermen gave reports on activities and plans that are close to their hearts. In this segment, we hear from Alderman Daniel Berry, Jennifer Armarker, and Cernovia McGee.
I sit on the Consolidated Communications Board. You may or may not have read about that in the paper. I encourage I'm going to prepare kind of a statement, I think, for the board. I don't know the proper way, and send that to Administrator Moody as kind of an overall update of that entire situation, just so that the board is fully aware of and not just seeing stuff from the paper in those items. But we've terminated the 911 director in the last meeting. We're beginning the hiring process. We have an interim director right now. I am serving on the hiring committee along with Chief Williams, Commissioner DeFord, Scott, I forget the other name of the other folks, but we'll be kind of releasing a process and how that'll be handled. But I'll write up kind of a full report to give to Administrator Moody that we can distribute as needed with some details behind that.
I did have the SCTA that I'm serving on, which is the South Central Tennessee Tourism Committee in the Discover Tennessee initiative. And a couple of things that they're working on right now is they're looking at getting a pretty substantial grant. And one of the questions that came out, which was pretty interesting, was about how Tullahoma's airport really increases the economic impact and tourism into Tullahoma. And I was happy to report back to that committee and exactly how our airport achieves a lot of those goals that they're looking to achieve. And that all of our, regional airports really are a great benefit that not every rural municipality has the privilege of having. And so I will be reaching out to Mr. Mayor and also the chairman of that board of the Tullahoma Airport Authority to hopefully sign some letters of support in order to get that tourism grant and get us some more dollars down here in Tullahoma.
First, I want to apologize to Girl Scout Troop 2163. Last meeting, I reported that I bought some Girl Scout cookies, but I couldn't think of their troop number. So I want to give a shout out to Troop 2163. The cookies did not last long at all. They were gone pretty quickly. Also, I would like to give kudos to the linemen and TUA, city employees, and first responders during our bad weather. They worked around the clock keeping us safe, so kudos to them. Last week, I joined a Zoom call meeting with the We Care Committee, and on that call were two doctors from Vanderbilt, Dr. Wanjala and Dr. Wilkins, and they were talking about the vaccine and how people of color, they answered questions because there seems to be very few people of color wanting to get the vaccine. So it was very informative. I did speak to the manager at the mall, Leanne Parks, regarding a pop-up shop there. And so I will be talking to Alderman Dunn and Winston Brooks so we can further collaborate on that. The Housing Authority meeting will be this Thursday night at 5 o'clock. After last meeting, I was just moved by the comments of Mr. Nicholas Conley, which is one of the owners of 122 West. So I went up there to meet him on Tuesday. I just had to meet him in person to just encourage him and just to commend him for his efforts. People who are in recovery, they, unless you walked in those shoes or walked with a family member in those shoes, you don't know the daily struggles that they have. So I just wanted to go up there and meet him because I was just moved by his comments. Also, I am in the process of planning an Easter egg hunt for the community, for the city. It won't be in conflict with the annual Easter egg hunt that is sponsored by Glick & Woods Dentistry. I am talking with Jennifer about the logistics, and hopefully by next meeting I'll have a location in place.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
This is the face of a fighter.
I'm fighting to keep Tennesseans working.
I'm fighting for time with my friends.
I'm fighting for football on Saturday.
I'm fighting to see my students back in the classroom.
We're fighting for our small business.
I'm fighting to keep my family safe.
Whatever you're fighting for, it's time for all Tennesseans to fight back. Until there's a vaccine for COVID-19, this is the face of a fighter. Face it, masks fight COVID-19.
Welcome back. Also at this week's Tullahoma Board meeting, we heard from Alderman Robin Dunn, Rupert Blackwell, along with City Attorney Steve Worsham and City Administrator Jennifer Moody.
Go Green Committee, we have contacted a woman who is looking at our carbon footprint for Tullahoma, just trying to get sort of a baseline to just figure out where we are as far as emissions and where we could improve. And I think really just the direction that it seems like the EPA has been going. There's grant money out there, and so we will definitely want to be part of, being able to show signs that we've already made this a part of our mission in Tullahoma, that we're going to go green. It's going to be a lot easier for us to get that funding down the road rather than just being the latest person to jump on a bandwagon. So we're just looking at different ways that we might be able to cut costs and, of course, cut emissions to make a healthier place to breathe and grow in Tullahoma. Also, I know we've talked a lot. It seems like stormwater is on a lot of people's minds this week, and I'm really glad to hear that, because I know that I have definitely been playing this song for a while. It's certainly a deep concern for me, and what's happening at Avoca Road is something that is unfortunately been occurring in several communities around Tullahoma, especially in our older homes. So in some of our more central locations in town, and a lot of these houses, if they're 100 years old, you're seeing that people are renting those. So maybe they haven't been. It's very difficult to see where some of our ditches are in Tullahoma. So where we used to have a stormwater program that was open ditches, a lot of those have been filled in. So there's a lot of things that need to be addressed in Tullahoma as far as our infrastructure and our stormwater. And I'm certainly a big believer that Tullahoma, the city, we need to be the leaders in this. Of course, I want to invite our homeowners to be a part as well. And I feel like a lot of this has been, the lion's share of this responsibility has been put on our builders. But the city, we need to be stepping up. And so I would like to propose that we have a study session with Jim Patterson, who is our environmental engineer, so he can talk to us more about this. I know this is something that is more of a concern recently, but it's been a concern, and I'm glad more people are being cognizant of it. This situation is not going to get better by itself, and we definitely need to be proactive in it. So I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. Do I need to propose this in like a more formal way, or just?
Robin, if you want to submit something to me suggesting that, we'll see what we can do.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. The other thing is there are a couple of ways that our citizens can be more proactive, and a couple of those are rain barrels. So I definitely, and I talked to Jim about this. I asked, what if every person in Tullahoma who recycles were to have a rain barrel, would we see a difference in our stormwater program? And he said unequivocally, yes. We have about 10,000 households who do recycle, or sorry, about 3,000 households that recycle. If 3,000 households had rain barrels, we would see a difference. We wouldn't see as much flooding on Avoca Road. And that's one way we can make a difference. We are having our rain barrel giveaway April 19th. Please mark your calendars. We're going to be at the farmers market. So I hope to see you all there. That's all, Mayor. Thank you very much.
An event I'm trying to put together. It's not really an event because it's more of a forum. I'm trying to work with the Community Council for Diversity and Inclusion, as well as with Vanderbilt's Equity Office, to bring people to come down to talk about the COVID vaccine and the racial and ethnic disparities within those who are getting the vaccine, and to have almost like a open panel forum discussion around it. So thank you to all of you who have given me emails of people to contact and help me, figure out spacing, etc. So shout out to all of you, Parks and Rec, and to Jennifer Moody and Zenobia and Robin Dunn. So thank you very much for that. I'm hoping that we can get that together soon.
I'd like to comment first of all about the Go Green initiative that Alderman Dunn is so passionate about, and tell her that, remind her again that on 5:15 on Wednesday evening here at the boardroom, the tree board is going to be meeting. One of the things that we're going to be discussing is increasing the canopy in Tullahoma. As we all know, trees provide a lot of oxygen in our atmosphere, and I think that what the tree board is doing can go hand in glove with the initiatives that the Go Green Committee is looking forward to. So let's work together on that. I'd like to invite you, Alderman Dunn, to the meeting if you'd like to come. This week, I will be filing the delinquent tax cases for the 2019 taxes that have not been paid. So everybody's got about 2 or 3 more days before I'll be filing the suits, and thereafter considerable additional penalty and cost will be attached to the taxes that they will owe.
The state legislature is in session, of course, and we're watching bills closely to see how they may impact the city. Governor Lee has proposed another $200 million in non-recurring state funds for local governments. And so you'll remember last year we received about $457,000 in the form of a one-time grant that we could use towards some capital projects. We are anticipating that should his budget be approved again, we'll have another $457,000 to put towards one-time capital projects in this next budget. So I'll keep you up to date on that. And then also, of course, you'll see tonight that we'll be setting an election date for August, but I am working closely, the mayor and I, with Representative Bricken to follow our private act amendment to our charter. And there is also potential for some other bills that could help us in terms of consolidating elections. So we're watching those.
Stay with us. More news is coming up in a moment.
Hello, I'm Ray Norris, and as mayor of Tullahoma, I'm strongly urging all of our citizens to follow the guidelines of CDC in helping control this virus, COVID-19. But I'm especially advising all of us to wear face coverings or masks anytime we're in a social setting where we can't maintain a distance of 6 feet or more. So be kind to your neighbor. Wear your mask.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Welcome back. On Wednesday, the Tennessee Department of Health announced state-specific visitation restrictions for long-term care facilities will end effective Sunday, February 28, 2021. Facilities should use the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services guidance for safe operation and visitation, with limited visitation restrictions no longer in place at the state level. The Tennessee Department of Health recognizes the extraordinary challenges long-term care facilities, their residents, and the family members and caregivers of those particular vulnerable Tennesseans have faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result of the federal long-term care facility pharmacy partnership, 100% of Tennessee's nursing homes and skilled nursing facilities have completed both doses of COVID-19 vaccinations, and Tennessee assisted care living facilities and residential homes for the aged are projected to be completed this week. Tennessee Health Commissioner Lisa Piercy said, quote, "The health and safety of vulnerable Tennesseans, especially our long-term care residents, remain our top priority, and our comprehensive and persistent efforts to protect this population from COVID-19 has saved lives. Now that vaccines at all long-term care facilities are nearing completion, we are ready to transition to a more sustainable approach of following these best practices for safe operation of long-term care facilities in Tennessee," end quote. The guidance issued by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services provide reasonable ways of nursing homes can safely facilitate in-person visits to address residents' social and emotional needs. Certified Medicare and Medicaid facilities should continue to follow the guidelines that nursing homes may allow indoor visitations when there has been no new onset of COVID-19 cases in the past 14 days, and the facility is not currently conducting outbreak testing. Long-term care facilities licensed by the state, which include Tennessee Assisted Care Living Facilities, residential homes for the aged, and any nursing home not certified by Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, should reference industry best practices and review related laws and rules when developing their own facility-specific visitation policies and procedures. The guidance outlines how facilities may expand communal dining and other group activities provided infection control policies are followed. Even as COVID-19 case counts decline, facilities should remain vigilant in monitoring for COVID-19 cases among residents and staff members through appropriate screening and testing. Facilities may test visitors, which is encouraged but not required. Additional resources on infection control practices are available for the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Dr. Piercy has also released this video asking older citizens to get vaccinated, as they are the most vulnerable population.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Piercy, Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Health, with a special message for all Tennesseans age 70 plus. Please get your vaccine now if you haven't already. We still have about 2 out of every 3 senior citizens in this state that haven't yet been vaccinated. Yet senior citizens account for more than half of hospitalizations and 80% of deaths. We want you to take this very important step to protect yourselves. And I'm also calling on churches and community groups, senior centers, and all of the family, friends, and neighbors of senior citizens. Reach out to them, help them get scheduled for a vaccine appointment, or help them arrange transportation to get to that appointment. We all love our senior citizens, and we want them to remain healthy through the pandemic, so I encourage you to get vaccinated today.
We'll be right back in a moment after these commercial messages.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the 2 of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Welcome back. State lawmakers want stricter regulations to ensure Tennesseans have access to affordable prescription drugs. Senate Bill 1617 would spotlight the role of pharmacy benefits managers who negotiate prices between drug makers, pharmacies, and health insurers. The bill would prevent those managers from inflating drug costs for health plans. At Tennessee Oncology, Dr. Stephen Schleiser, president of the Tennessee Oncology Practice Society, said some cancer patients wait weeks to get medications with higher out-of-pocket cost. He said pharmacy benefit managers wield a huge amount of power and prescribers have little control in the process. He added, quote, as this system has worsened and pharmacy benefit managers gain control, costs go up for patients. The PBMs dictate where the patient can get their drugs, often causing big gaps in the communication between the pharmacist and the oncology provider when that communication is so important, end quote. The bill would prevent pharmacy benefit managers from interfering with a patient's right to choose their pharmacy and would require fair reimbursement for healthcare providers in rural and low-income areas. It's now in the Senate Commerce and Labor Committee. The largest pharmacy benefit managers in the country are CVS, Caremark, Express Scripts, and Prime Therapeutics. Pharmacist and bill sponsor, Tennessee Senator Shane Reeves, Republican of Bedford County, said pharmacy benefit managers have morphed into conglomerates that he claims are siphoning money out of patients, providers, and insurers' pockets while putting many independent pharmacies out of business. He says they were originally intended to lower drug costs for the consumers. However, evidence now may suggest that pharmacy benefit managers have actually increased drug prices over time. Last December, the U.S. Supreme Court decided a case that upheld the state of Arkansas's right to require PBMs to reimburse pharmacies fairly. Reeves said more states are trying PBM regulations. The Pharmaceutical Care Management Association, which represents pharmacy benefit managers, has argued that they help lower drug costs and pass these savings on to patients. Others have said regulating PBMs would harm market competition. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor, too, when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental healthcare needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1930 at 77 degrees. The record low was in 1967 at 3 degrees. Average high on this day is 55 and the average low is 33. Showers are moving in tonight with a low expected of around 40. On Friday, showers in the forecast with a high of 55 and a low of 48. And on Saturday, showers continue in the forecast with a high of 64 and a low of 55. And that's our News Leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6.